Today I'm going to be building a surprisingly powerful RTX gaming PC for just $400.
Alright, starting off we have an Intel B360m Wi-Fi motherboard, paired with an Intel Core i7-8700.
The primary reason I went with this CPU is because it got a 0% bottleneck score in 1080p with our graphics card. Speaking of our graphics card, we have the RTX 2060 6GB EVGA 3-slot card that I picked up off eBay for around $130. I went with this card for two main reasons. It has the flashy RTX logo, and it only requires an 8-pin power connector, which is perfect for the leftover cable extensions that I decided to use for this computer. The cable extensions that will be plugged in to our Corsair 550W power supply that I also got used on eBay for $35. Which reminds me, somehow, that I forgot to talk about the RAM. I decided to go with 16GB of T-Force DDR4 RAM clocked at 3200 MHz. I got this new from Newegg for only $30. On top of all this so far, I've decided to go with 500GB PNY 2.5-inch SATA SSD that's been sitting around on my computer for a while and will work great for anybody who's basically just going to play games and do a little bit of schoolwork. All of this will be going in a SAMA 277-1M black PC case. This PC case was priced pretty well at just $65 new on Newegg. I made a full review video down below in the description if you want to go check it out yourself. Overall, it's a pretty decent case with only a few drawbacks, with some of the glass being non-removable and the SATA SSD drive being really annoying. I highly recommend this case if you're new or experienced to PC building and you're locked to a strict budget.
Now, there's only one thing left to do.
It works! So that means it's time for the fun part, the benchmarks. In Marvel Rivals, at all high settings with DLSS set to quality, I got an average of about 60 FPS the entire game, with some pretty impressively stable frame time graphs. I can confirm newer competitive titles will run really well on this system, especially if you're using an upscaling technology like DLSS. Moving on to Fortnite, in medium settings with DLSS set to balanced and effects turned down to low with the render distance turned up to high, we saw an average of about 120 FPS. Cranking it up, we increased the settings from medium to high, keeping the same rule where we decreased the effect setting and increased the render distance setting. We saw an average of about 80 FPS, still completely playable if you're running a 60Hz monitor, just like me. So, is this computer a good option? Well, if you're running a budget and you really want that sweet RTX card, then yeah, it works pretty well. And if you don't care that much about all the little things and having, slightly better CPU, slightly better GPU, then this computer is a very solid option. But if you do care, then here are the few changes that I would have made to this computer. First off, I would have went with a GTX 1070 instead of an RTX 2060. Why? Because it's half the price. I got my RTX 2060 for around $130, $140. And I got this GTX 1070 for only $70. And it even comes with more VRAM. So if you're doing more VRAM intense tasks and not just gaming, then it would 100% be way better than the RTX 2060. I would also consider highly, and recommend highly, going on the AM4 platform instead of the LGA 1151 or whatever it is. It's just like way more upgradable, it's way more affordable, and it performs better. So I would go for that, definitely. The only reason I went with the Intel platform I went with and the i7-8700 is because I already had it lying around, and I just priced it around equal to what the AM4 equivalent would be. Yeah, I'd recommend going AM4 instead of LGA 1151 or whatever this is. It's much better. If you are interested in buying this exact computer that I've just built, I will have it listed on Jawa for around $600 at the time of posting this. Thank you for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. I'll be having other computer build videos coming out really soon. I'll be comparing the GTX 1080 Ti to the RTX 2060 and so much more. And if you really enjoyed watching and you want to see more stuff from me, I would really appreciate subscribing. Thank you.